Hey y'all, thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Shannon and I'm a Sunriser from Houston, Texas, and I'm super excited to be here with y'all as we celebrate the launch of our ad for Mike Siegel, whoop, whoop, and lay out our plan to win this race and win a Green New Deal in my home state. In a minute, we're going to be talking with Mike Siegel, who is running for Congress in Texas 10, as well as the Green New Deal maker himself, Ed Markey. Before we start, I want to talk some more about why it's so important that we get Mike Siegel elected. Mike Siegel has been a teacher, a union organizer, and a civil rights lawyer. He's fought against racist show me your papers laws in Texas and is now working to win on a platform that includes a Green New Deal and Medicare for all. His opponent, incumbent Michael McCaul, on the other hand, has helped Trump create the Muslim ban, has voted to cut healthcare dozens of times, and is the largest fossil fuel investor in Congress, owning over $8 million in oil and gas stocks. He hasn't even held a town hall in over 10 years. Y'all, the stakes could not be higher. When we get Mike Siegel elected, it will prove that Texas is in fact a swing state and that the Green New Deal can win anywhere. We've already made over 225,000 calls for Mike as a movement, and we're about to seriously ramp up our efforts. But enough of me talking. Let's hear from Mike Siegel himself.
Right on. Well, thank you so much, Shannon, and all of you from Sunrise. So much love for everything you're doing. You're an inspiration to me as a candidate and as a human being on this planet. So like Shannon had said, I'm a 21-year public servant. Mike Siegel, Democrat for Congress in the Texas 10th, been a public school teacher, union organizer, civil rights lawyer, and your Democratic nominee to replace Republican Mike McCaul, who not only co-authored the Muslim ban and voted 46 times to cut healthcare, but has more invested in oil and gas than any other member of Congress. And if we win this campaign, it will send shockwaves. I'm running a movement-style campaign that's about organizing for the people. It's not just about asking for a vote, but it's asking how can we serve the community and how can we show what a progressive vision for the future looks like. So we've been organizing, for example, to shut down a coal plant here in the Texas 10th. And that's one of the things that earned me the support of the Sunrise Movement. We brought these folks from a rural county that's suffering from pollution from a coal plant, and we brought them to Austin to meet with folks like the Sunrise Movement. And we've built a broader movement across the rural, urban, and suburban areas to fight for clean air, clean water. Hey, Senator Markey, good to see you.
How you doing, Mike?
Wonderful. And we've built a really powerful thing here. And I'm an organizer in my 21-year history as a teacher and civil rights lawyer. And my campaign is trying to keep that organizing ethos. And Sunrise is really at the heart of that. And I'll tell you, we are going to change the paradigm if we win this race. This is a so-called red to blue district where there's a 8-time Republican incumbent. And there's a playbook when you go to Washington, D.C., they tell you how you're supposed to run against a Republican in the heart of Texas. And when I went out there last year and showed them my first flyer that said Medicare for all, end the war on drugs, fight voter suppression, and fight for a Green New Deal, these consultants, they said, no, you shouldn't do that. That's not how you win in Texas. And I'll tell you, I had to just do this anyway because I believe in this movement. I wouldn't be taking 3 years off of my life to run twice for Congress, putting my family through this if I wasn't fighting for what I really believed. And to me, what is so exciting about what's happening with the Sunrise Movement is y'all can help me prove this idea that if we lean in to the issues, the biggest crises that we're facing right now, for the same reason that we need Medicare for all to confront this health pandemic, we need a Green New Deal to put tens of millions of Americans back to work, to address the massive inequality of wealth in this country, to address climate change, to address the legacy of environmental racism and injustice. And if we can win, beat Michael McCaul, a $300 million man with more oil and gas stock than any member of the House or Senate, running in Texas in a district that touches the Houston oil patch, that will send shockwaves. That will not only elevate me to be your representative in Congress and fight for a Green New Deal with the senator and so many others, but it also encourage other progressives at the state level, at the federal level to run. And so this victory that's almost upon us is of a tremendous magnitude. And so I'm here to say thank you so much for those 225,000 phone calls. And also to say that those phone calls are the X factor that Michael McCaul doesn't have. I'll tell you, we have 2 polls in this race in the last month. We are tied with 3 weeks to go. So every bit of help you can offer will make the difference. And what we're finding is that when we call these less aligned voters who sometimes vote Democrat, sometimes Republican, or sometimes vote at all, when we have a conversation, 8 out of 10, sometimes 9 out of 10 are promising to vote for me at the end of that conversation. So if you can put in a shift of 2 hours, maybe you can do it 3 times between now and election day, you can personally swing dozens of votes. And when you talk to one person in a household, they're talking to everyone else in their household, maybe their neighbors as well. And so you could be the difference. I lost by 13,000 votes in 2018. The hundreds of thousands of phone calls that Sunrise are making is basically unmatchable by my opponent. He has to pay people to do work for them. He doesn't have volunteers. And so I'm so honored to be working with you all. I hope you will sign up for volunteer shifts. Senator Markey, thank you so much for putting your shoulders to the wheel, helping us down here in Texas. You're making a huge impact. And just really want to send my love to everyone. Thank you, solidarity, and let's go win. Take care, y'all.
Whew. I really felt everything you just said, Mike. Thank you so much for being on here with us tonight. You're truly a people's candidate. I personally really cannot wait to see you in office. Next up, I want to introduce the Green New Deal maker himself, Senator Ed Markey. Thank you so much for being on here with us tonight, Senator.
Great, and thanks for having me on tonight. I am excited about tonight. This is an incredible moment. Mike is going to become a congressman from Texas running on the Green New Deal. And it's because he wants to create union jobs in Texas, in this clean energy sector, the sector of the future. And he's running on it because it is the right thing in order to save the planet, but it's also the right thing in order to make sure that a whole new generation of young people and old don't just have a job, but they have a career in the clean energy sector. This is all something that is going to happen, but it needs leaders, and that's Mike. So when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and I were drafting the Green New Deal, we were thinking in terms of, yes, saving the planet, yes, creating millions of new jobs, but also, yes, to do it with fairness, to do it with racial justice, environmental justice at its heart. And that's what Mike's campaign is all about. He is absolutely linking all of these issues in a way that directly relate to his district. And so make no mistake about it, justice is on the ballot in 2020 with Donald Trump as president. And environmental justice is actually a good way to deal with income inequality, because as Alexandria and I did when we drafted the Green New Deal, we said that these should be union jobs and it should be prevailing wage, and that we should put frontline communities at the front of the line to get these new jobs in our economy. So this is a big moment. Mike is now in a statistical tie. None of the experts in Washington ever saw this coming. But because of Mike, because of this grassroots movement that has been built around Mike and his progressive ideas, we have a chance to make history in Texas this year. And then on the floor of the United States Congress, we'll be able to create an Austin-Boston connection. I'll be working with Mike in order to advance our goals in the same way that Jack Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson partnered Austin, Boston to accomplish goals in the 1960s. It's all there for the taking. So all I can say to everyone out there is all gas, no brakes for the final 21 days. Just get up, get out, do the work, text, make sure that you are calling your friends, that you are Instagramming, that you are TikToking, you're doing whatever it takes in order to talk to people about Mike and this progressive vision for Texas and for our country, which he has. So thank you all so much for having me here. So I'm going to stick around. I'm looking forward to the film we're about to see.
Yeah, all gas, no brakes. Thank you so much, Senator Markey. I can't wait to see both you and Mike in Congress together with that Austin-Boston connection. All right, so now let's get into the moment that we're all waiting for. As I'm sure y'all have seen, we've released what's probably the ad of the year for the Green New Deal maker himself, Ed Markey, just a few weeks ago. It went viral. It showed folks how amazing Ed is. And long story short, he won and we won. Now our video team is back and fire than ever with our latest ad for another Green New Deal champion. We made this one because the coalition that Mike is helping build in Texas alongside unions, youth climate organizers, farmers, and more is just so big and so powerful that we just had to highlight it. All right, so let's get into the video and then we'll hear live reactions from Mike and Ed.
We are not famous, but we've worked hard to build their shining city, to build incredible infrastructure to power this country. We've carried the American dream of billionaires on our backs. We've built their America. But I've talked to my coworkers. We can see what's coming. Floods and wildfires getting worse, plants closing. I look around at my union brothers and sisters, and every day I see jobs being obliterated with no backup plan for us to transition to something better. But I'm not going to let their America leave us behind. So I started organizing for a Green New Deal with my union. Conversations weren't easy, but my fellow workers, what use is a job if you don't have a home to come home to? What use is a country if you can't work to better the lives of yourself and your neighbors?
Democratic congressional candidate Mike Siegel.
Welcome, Mike Siegel.
Mike Siegel.
I'm a former public school teacher, a union organizer, a civil rights lawyer.
Unions have a saying, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. It's no surprise our unions endorsed Mike Siegel. Michael McCall has already shown us who he works for. When the pandemic hit, he spent his time cutting deals for CEOs, not workers. Mike Siegel is our chance to have a seat at the table next year. A real accomplice in Congress. Mike knew union power before he knew air. His mother was a machinist who helped organize a strike while he was still in the room. Any deal he'll make will start with us. This election is about sending one of our own to bring our vision of a Green New Deal to Congress and to bring back good union jobs so we can build a more stable future for ourselves and our loved ones. We are here at the exact right moment to build our America. We don't know our names, but they will know our power.
Yo, I don't know about y'all, but that video was amazing. I have literal chills. Yeah, let's give that team a hand. I have literal chills, especially that last line. What did you think about the video, Mike?
Oh, I love it so much, and it represents kind of the unique thing I've been able to do. You know, my mom's actually in town with me right now, who loves this video, by the way. And I was raised in a union family, and you know, when I was a teacher, I was in the teachers union. When I was a city worker, I was in that union. Even my campaign is unionized. And to me, one of the things that we can do in Texas is bring together this very powerful labor movement we have, which has a lot of fossil fuel workers, and connect it with the environmental movement. And what I've found is that, you know, the Houston oil and gas workers, they recognize that climate change is real. They've had these massive flood events. They don't want to put their head in the sand and pretend it doesn't happen. But they also want to know that we're not going to leave them by the wayside when we move forward with the Green New Deal. They want to know that there's a real just transition, not just a promise, oh, we'll give you some training, we'll find you a job later, trust us. No, they want to know it's real. And I'll tell you right now, in Texas, we've lost 50,000 oil and gas jobs since March. And I'll tell you, the Republican Party, for all their talk about oil and gas, they're not standing up for those oil and gas workers. And so if we can start 2021 with a full head of steam, you know, all gas, no brakes, as the senator said, and to bring those jobs home right away and, you know, prove the concept. And you know, the New Deal was a 15-year process. This isn't going to be a snap your fingers kind of thing. But if we can start delivering right away next year, I think this movement will become unstoppable.
Yeah, that's definitely so real, Mike. What did you think about it, Senator Markey?
I love that ad. It is just such a great ad because, you know, from talking about Mike's mother in a union and, his own background coming from a union family, and the Green New Deal really being all about creating the largest single number of new blue collar union jobs in 2 generations in America. It gets right to the heart of what the Green New Deal is all about. It's about job creation. It's about union jobs. It's about prevailing wages. It's about giving families hope that there is going to be a good future for them, especially right now. We are back in Great Depression level economic circumstances. And in the same way that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was able to create a New Deal, to have a works progress administration that actually put jobs and projects in every single district in America, every single congressional district. That's what Mike's talking about. Mike's talking about creating union jobs in his district in order to deal with the fact that union jobs are being lost. And Mike has a plan to make sure that there is a new generation of jobs that are going to be there, and it's going to be done with environmental justice, but making sure that people know that they have an excellent future ahead for themselves. So I just love the way Mike's leaning in. I can just feel this about Mike. He leans in on this. He's not listening to conventional wisdom. He's creating new wisdom. He's creating a new revolution. He's saying the age of incrementalism is over. We got to think big if we're going to create these jobs that are going to be essential for families to be able to make it out of the pandemic and into the indefinite future in their family's history. So I love the ad, though. I love it. It's a lot like the ad that ran up here in Massachusetts that carried me to victory. And I think you're going to have a lot of excitement that's built around it. Sunrise just knows what they're doing. It's just an incredible political coalition that's been put together. It's creativity, but it's energy and work. We got to get the work done. And that's, again, what we need people to do. We have to make the calls. We have to do the emails. We have to do the texting. We have to do the TikToking and the Instagramming. We have to do everything it takes in order to get Mike's winning message out. It's so close. It's there for the asking if we do the work. So let's make history. This ad is making history. It's going to cause a lot of gabbing amongst the political experts in Texas as they try to figure out what is going on. What is Mike Siegel doing down here? We've never seen anything like it in our lives. And look at the excitement amongst young people making calls for him. And this is our chance to deliver a true progressive from Texas who will make a difference in the lives of everyone in our country. So again, I love the ad, though. Just think it's brilliant.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Ed Markey. Yeah, let's get Texas gabbing. Wow, awesome. Okay, cool. Literally so much energy tonight and so many amazing things. And I'm having such a great time right now, but unfortunately, that's all the time that we have for tonight. It has been so amazing to be on this call with the both of you. And I'm so glad that both of y'all could come out tonight. For everyone watching, I want to remind you that we only have 3 more weeks till election day, which means we really need to be throwing down for candidates like Mike Siegel to make sure he gets elected so that we can pass a Green New Deal. I want everyone who's watching right now, yes, you, to sign up to make calls to voters in Texas. We'll be phone banking for Mike Siegel tomorrow night, and I need you to be there. You can sign up right now at smbmt.org/TX4 Siegel, Siegel. Like Senator Markey said, all gas, no brakes, so let's go. Have a nice night, y'all.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
Go get him, Mike.
Thanks, Senator.
You're going to win this.
Right on. Look